Hi, I'm Pat Huntoon from Technique Junkies. Today we're going to be making this cute little Mother's Day card using Distress Oxide Inks, Nuvo Mousse Embellishments, Art Anthology Fairy Dust, and a beautiful Colorful Life Stencil along with Technique Junkie stamps. I'm glad you're here to play with me today. Let's get started. To start this project, I pre-stamped the Honor and Love You stamp on a piece of Nina Solar white cardstock. The Honor and Love You stamp was just released in April. I colored it with two colors of Copic markers, VV02 and V000. I want to put it on a background of gray cardstock. So to do that, I'm coloring my cardstock with some Distress Oxide inks to match the colors that I stamped the image in. I'm using worn lipstick and I'm using wilted violet. I'm going over it and just rubbing it gently all over the gray cardstock so that I can get a grungy kind of look to it. Now I'm going to add some Art Anthology Gilded Gold Fairy Dust over the top of that. I'm spraying it all over. I'm giving it a really good application of spray there to make sure that I have it really well covered. I'm spraying it really well. And I could let this sit or I could dry it to keep those dots on there, but I want to have a little bit different look. I'm going to take a paper towel and just get the excess spray off there. I had it on there long enough just to have everything soak in a bit. And as you can see, it's got a real shimmery look to it, and yet you can really see those Distress Oxides on the gray cardstock. I'm taking a stencil here called Wispy Vines from A Colorful Life. I'm placing it over my background. And I'm going to be using Nuvo Embellishment Mousse in Lilac Lavender and in Gunmetal Gray. And the names can be found right above the barcodes. See how the Nuvo Mousse embellishment is a little bit crumbly? That's perfectly fine. It's quite a soft product, and it tends to get a little crumbly in the jar. Don't throw it out. It's great. Now you notice that I'm buttering my cardstock instead of scraping it. You don't want to scrape the product onto your cardstock like I just showed you. You want to butter it. By buttering it, you push everything into the holes as opposed to scraping it, which pulls things out. So I'm just going to get two colors on here, and I'm randomly putting them on there. I'm putting them over one another so that I get a multicolored cardstock. I'm going to make sure that the whole thing is covered. It's a little hard to see in this video, but I have a lot on there, but I don't have a lot on the stencil. I kind of really use my finger on the top of that palette knife to push it down into the holes and to move the product off this stencil itself. I'm just going to release that, lift it right up, and isn't that gorgeous? The best thing about these Nuvo Mousse is that you can heat emboss them, and it only takes about 30 seconds to heat emboss. Very, very fast. And to check it, I just put my fingers on it gently. If it feels wet at all, I just keep heating it for another minute or so. Look at that dimension. Isn't that amazing? I get both colors on there plus all of that dimension. I think the Nuvo Mousse embellishments are great. Make sure that you wash your stencil well with dish soap when you're done. Now I'm just going to mat it all up. I want to put a little black on my purple card base. And then I'm going to take the piece we just did, which has been trimmed down, and I'm just going to adhere that using my ATG glue. I just wiggled it a little bit to make sure it was nice and flat. And I've got that on there. Next, I'm going to take my focal image, and I didn't like it that way, so I'm going to turn it a little bit. And I'm going to put it a little off center because that's who I am, a little bit off center. And I originally put this down with my ATG gun and then decided I really didn't like the way it looked flat. Because it's such a dimensional card, I wanted more dimension. And when I went to look for glue, pop dots, this is all I could find was my pop dot extras here. So I just cut that off. You never want to waste any of that product. Just use that. Those are good. Who cares if they're circles? Nobody's going to see it. So I just cut a couple pieces of that off. I adhered it to the back. I ignored the fact that I had ATG glue on there. It's not going to affect anything unless you have cat or dog hair on there. You're perfectly fine with the way that is. I'm just going to adhere it all down, and then I'm just going to pick off the back and put it on the cardstock. And that is my simple card. It only takes a couple of minutes, but the dimension that you get from those stencils is absolutely stunning. And that background with that wispy vine in it, just glorious. I hope you enjoyed the video today, and there's a list of all the products at the end of the video. Thanks for stopping by.